Okay, so welcome back to the 10-6 diaries. So this is episode 16, so this is the first week of my official off-season prep. I suppose sort of the 7 weeks or like 6 weeks of rehab, however long it was, that sort of almost acted as like almost building a strength base. So I'm sort of able to progress into doing some slightly more specific stuff. So I'm probably doing, I would say, similar stuff to what I was doing this time, like last year. So this was week 1, which was like 5 weeks ago. So like I'm currently on week 5 of the off season, so I do need to catch up. So my plan is to hopefully upload twice a week. So I'm not sure when I'll upload the next episode, maybe like Wednesday or Thursday, just depending on when I have time to kind of put everything together. But yeah, that is the plan. So week 1, idea is just to try and build back some of the qualities that I sort of lost during the season. So already I'd kind of had really good strength gains, and I felt like my strength was definitely up from where it was. Not tested, I didn't test anything after this 4-week training cycle, so I'm not really sure where my strength is, but I just know that I definitely have improved it. My body weight's up about 3 kilos, so I did start taking creatine. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but I started taking creatine, and essentially I think I've gained a little bit of water weight, but I also feel like I've definitely gained some size as well, a little bit of muscle mass from some of the training that I've been doing, so I think that's definitely a positive thing. But yeah, I went from about, like, technically speaking, I've probably gained, I think I'll give myself like 2 kilos is what I've gained. So I went from about 62 to 64, 65, in that sort of ballpark. So that's quite good, and I feel like I've not really lost much of, like, I feel like the weight's not negatively impacted my sprinting ability as well, which is good. But I just need to kind of keep on top of sprinting, of jumping, because if you're gaining weight and you're not kind of doing enough sprints, doing enough jumps, then it could negatively impact your sprinting, your jumping. So you've got to kind of stay on top of that and make sure that you're still getting the reps in. So that's what I'm doing, but jumping feels good. So I've been doing jumps on like Wednesdays. Every Wednesday I've been doing jumps, apart from this first week of this training cycle where I did the jumps on Friday because I was indoors on the Friday. So that's the only day that I did jumps on a different day. But yeah, I've just been doing it to sort of track readiness and to see if I really want to try and get my vertical to 1 meter on the jump mat. That's sort of like a side goal that I've got at the moment. So I'm sort of practicing for that. I think at the moment it's in the sort of like mid to low 90 centimeter range on the jump mat. So I'm hoping that I can, push that. I'm not sure if I'll get it this year, but I think definitely like early next year. But April hopefully would be nice to kind of have that ticked off, and then 40 inches on the jump mat I guess next year. By sort of like this time next year would be quite nice. So I'll try and focus on that, and obviously I'll focus on keeping my knees healthy. So far they've held up with the training, which is good. But yeah, the first week's just been really building the base, as I said, doing some sort of strength movements, a lot of sort of squat pattern type things. I quite like how the training cycle looked. It sort of started off with like a more intense day, sort of on Monday, then a really intense day with sprinting. So it was really intense in the weight room on Monday. It was slightly less intense in the weight room on the Wednesday, with Wednesday sprinting being more intense and Monday sprinting being slightly less intense because it was resisted sprints. And then Friday sprinting, I just did like hill sprints. I kept this day just as a nice and sort of easy day. I did have some clean and jerks on this day, but even though I had that, it was still sort of like a less intense day to do. So yeah, it was just good to unload a little bit. But I definitely felt the fatigue after the first week. I was feeling really sort of like fried, physically and mentally. I had actually worked a shift, so I'd been working from, I think it was like 9:30 till 6:30, and then I'd went to the gym after that. So I'd done my hill sprints before work at like 8 in the morning or something like that, and then went to work after that. and worked the shift and then did the lifts. So I sometimes feel like when I do that, the lift quality will be impacted slightly if I'm like working before training. But it is what it is. Sometimes you've just got to you've just got to firm it really. You can't always, you've got to earn money somehow. I've got to earn money somehow, and it's like, I've got to work a job where it's gonna fatigue me. I'm not sure if there's many jobs that wouldn't fatigue you that you can get paid for. Obviously, if I could make, content creation work, that would be great. But I think that's like obviously quite a hard thing to do, and I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's definitely very hard to do. But yeah, so this is week 1, so I just sort of included all the clips, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I did have someone asking me some questions on Instagram actually. They had I think it was 9 or 10 questions, so I screenshotted those 2 messages that he sent me with all the questions, and I'll hopefully go over some of those. I don't know if I should go over them in this video, just as sort of an extra thing to say, or if I should go over them in these videos, or if I should make separate videos for them, because some of them I think are quite good. It's just things, I can pull up the questions now actually quickly. I think they're just somewhere on my photos. But I think some of the questions were things what injuries have you had, and there was some other really good ones as well. I'll need to quickly find them. Right, I found them here. Yeah, so it was injuries that I've had throughout my sprinting career, how bothersome they are, and how I overcame them. And I feel like that's some of those questions were really good, because it kind of shows you, what I've went through, and it'll show sort of the mistakes I've made so that people can learn from that, because I definitely feel like there was so many mistakes that I made when I first started out doing this. But yeah, I feel like I'm rambling here now. I feel like I'm just talking nonsense. But I hope you enjoyed episode 16 and week 1 of the off-season training, and I will see you hopefully on Wednesday or Thursday for week number 2 of the off-season training. Week 2 went a lot better. The first week, I don't know what it was, it just didn't really feel great. I guess because I'm just getting back into it, but yeah, that is about it for the video, so thank you for watching.